Be right back.
Welcome, campers. So, welcome to our another edition of the Halloween Maker Camp. Today we have the Haunt Box opening for us. This was a really cool project done by my two guys here. This is Dan and this is Sam, and they work together. They're from the lab, and they work together to put together this fantastic prop here. And so this was featured in the Boards Hangout last week. Remember, we talked about that at the end, and I said, go check out the Boards Hangout. Well, we talked about it then, and it's actually improved since then.
Yeah, it's still a work in progress, but as you can see, we added chains. We have a motor that rattles the lid, and we have creepy sound effects going on. And it's all hooked up to the Haunt Box right now, so we're actually controlling it with the computer right now.
Yep. And it does have a cool solenoids installed right now, and we are very near to controlling those with the computer as well.
Yep. So the whole box will jump up and down.
So do you think that we'll see a further progression of this next week, maybe?
Yes, we will.
Absolutely.
Awesome. So is this the only thing that you can do with the Haunt Box controller?
Yes.
Really, Sam?
In the broad general sense. And what we're actually doing with it is using one input out of 6 to control 6 individual outputs. So we are maxing out as much once we get those kickers in there. We are maxing out all of the cool outputs you can do with one Haunt Box controller.
So this is just one controller?
This is just one controller controlling red lights, controlling sound. It's controlling
strobe
lights, yeah.
Okay. 2 pneumatic cylinders and a windshield wiper motor.
Cool.
So for one thing, it's really not doing too bad.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
We kind of have the whole package.
But this is really customizable. You could use it for a lot of different stuff, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And so how do you control it? Is there? I see that you have some sort of interface
Sam,
here.
talk about that.
I have an interface set up. This is our interface. And I'm going to use, you know what, because I have another computer here, can I just be super high tech and show off my screen on this screen?
Good luck.
Oh yeah, look at that. That doesn't work at all. All right.
But there is a website that you can go to. You can go to Haunt Box.
There's a browser built into the Haunt Box
Okay.
that comes up on your network.
Got
So
it.
from any device on your network, even your phone, you can go to that browser.
Cool.
And the beauty of it is you can just bring up drag and drop menus. So your program looks something like, when sensor like motion goes off, wait however amount of time you want, then drag and drop your output, tell it exactly how long you want it for, or if you want it to just wait until further notice, and then that's actually it. And then you can just move on to the next one, and you can stack up like about 30 of these things.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, and it's all, you don't need any programming experience before, because it's as simple as just entering a very basic form.
Awesome. So that's how you were able to do it, Sam.
That's how I was able to do that. Thank you.
So for any of you campers that have questions for Dan and Sam about the Haunt Box, make sure that you post them on our Google Plus community page. We'll be feeding those through, and questions for our guests throughout the show, you can put those on the Google Plus community page. Just a reminder there. And I'm talking with Dan and Sam. They work in the labs with me. We work at Make Labs, and we test all the projects that go into the magazine. And we also get to do really cool projects like this one on the side. So Dan, why don't you talk a little bit about what's inside of the box?
So we have 2 pneumatic cylinders that are mounted to the floor of the box.
Okay.
And when they go off from the controller, they actually cause the box to jump up into the air.
Cool.
So it makes it look like something is trying to rattle its way out.
Yeah, I saw the prototyping of that. That's really cool.
Yeah.
It looks really cool.
I mean, we have a regulator in there, so we kind of dial it back, but for fun, we turn it all the way up to 100 psi, and the box literally jumped into the air, like made clearance between the ground and the bottom of the box. That was fun and a little dangerous.
Great when you're not telling someone that you're going to do it, Dan.
Yeah. And then to make the lid rattle, like something's trying to open the lid, I used a windshield wiper motor, and then I attached it to a kind of erratic cam, and it just has a bunch of random sized teeth on it. And so when that spins, there's a cam follower, which is basically just a piston with a wheel on it, a little caster wheel on it, and that, as it spins, causes the piston to go up and down, and then that in turn pushes up and down on the lid, which makes it seem like something's trying to get out.
That's super cool.
Yeah.
And so, what did you make the box yourself?
I did. It's actually all made out of recycled pallets.
Interesting. It looks fantastic.
Yes,
it looks like, you know, it's really great that you used wood that's been aged by the pallets.
Naturally,
That's a really great tip.
It makes
for
it
anyone.
eco-friendly.
Yes.
Yeah, so for makers at home, if you want to make something, you know, have old wood, just go to some place that would have pallets, some sort of warehouse.
And they are more than happy to just give it to you.
Yeah, especially if they're broken, just totally bad
just wanna
pallets.
get rid of them.
They're just stacked up in the back. So ask before you take, but it's a really great resource if you want to get some material. We happen to have our own in-house warehouse, so we just walked over and made a mess.
We cleaned up the mess.
We cleaned it up, but we made a mess first, which is half of the fun of doing anything. Of making anything yourself is making a gigantic mess.
Yeah.
So is there, like, what's in store for next week?
So next week we will have a finalized controller set up, and the pneumatic rims will be working, so this thing will be alive.
Cool. I can't wait to scare people around the office.
Yes, we do intend to hide it somewhere and then set up a camera on it and see how many people we can scare with it.
You know us interns, always up to something terribly nefarious.
Yes, indeed.
All right, awesome. Well, I'm really excited to see how this turns out. And so definitely keep me updated on that.
We will do.
And I also would like to just remind campers that are just tuning in now that we're talking with Dan and Sam about the Haunt Box, which is what opened our show. And we also have some very special guests with us from Alien Invasion. Hi, guys.
Hi.
So tell me a little bit about what you're up to.
Well, we are setting up our annual Alien Invasion. We do it every single year. Been doing it about 10 years. I'm John. This is Dory over here.
Hello.
This is my daughter Zoe, my son Aiden, and
Henry and William, who are my sons.
They have all grown up with this, and we set up what we like to call Area 51 and a half.
Because it's just that much better than Area 51.
Exactly.
It is.
Well, show us some of the fun things that you have around.
Okay. Well, in the background we have some of the screens that show animations that run over the props, kind of made-up output. These are flash animations that we've created, and they run action script that control some of the props with microcontrollers. They click off sounds and sirens and fog machines, that type of thing. We've got part of what we call the incubation chamber back here, and right in front we have a nice extraterrestrial. This guy actually has a motor in his stomach with an eccentric cam on it, hooked up to a remote. He's not plugged in right now, but we hit that remote and scare the bejesus out of people. A lot of fun.
He's great.
We know a lot about
it's on a metal surface, so it really it's scary.
Tops makes this fantastic rattling.
That's awesome. So how did you get started with this?
I've been doing haunted house stuff for quite some time, and I just thought what really scared me when I was a kid, and it was aliens. And so I switched from ghosts and ghouls to aliens, and then about 10 years ago when our kids were in kindergarten, we met Dory and her husband Mike, and they're very into sci-fi just as we are, and it just kind of exploded from there.
Actually, it was pretty funny because we were just getting to know each other. The kids were in kindergarten, and I said, hey, do you want to go trick-or-treating together? And John and Alex sort of nervously looked at each other, and I'm like, oh my gosh, they don't celebrate Halloween. Uh-oh. And they said, well, we kind of do this haunted house thing. And then my husband and I looked at each other like, oh my gosh. And I said, do you want to do it here? And like, do you know what you're getting into?
Yeah.
And so then that year, we just opened the garage and went for it, and it's just grown ever since.
Terrific.
It's awesome.
That's fantastic. Oh, I love that. That's such a great story. So where are you right now?
We're deep in an undisclosed location.
I really can't tell you.
We're in the garage.
The best
And,
place to do all those Halloween pop-up haunted houses is in a vacant garage. My garage is packed full with stuff.
Yeah, my garage is not vacant.
But
Yeah, so that's the challenge every year is clearing out the garage so that we can then turn it into an alien invasion.
Yep. Yeah. And it spreads out into the lawn, and then we have probably the best neighbors on the planet. Everything's stored in a pod, the storage unit that shows up, and my neighbors are like, oh, yes, it's here. It's Halloween. It's that time of year. So it sort of takes over the whole front of the house.
Yep.
That's
incredible.
That's awesome. I love that you guys are so into Halloween because I'm totally into it too. So it's great to meet other people who have the bug. So I see you have screens and you've got props and you've got just all this cool stuff everywhere. So how did you get started with all of this? And what are your backgrounds that helped you make all this cool stuff?
So I've been into sci-fi since I was a little kid, space movies, that kind of thing. Always really into Hollywood props. I'm a designer and an artist and love working with my hands. I love building stuff at home and love figuring things out and tinkering. And so we buy lots of stuff from surplus electronics stores and just put it all together. We use pneumatics, electronics, computer control, and it's just the kind of stuff that I would love to do for a living, but haven't quite figured out how to get paid for it. So we bring it all out on Halloween.
Yeah, we have some friends locally that do a big thing for Christmas, and so they have a whole PG&E thing out front that just says, help donate to the cause. Yes. Put money in here. Yeah, they usually make up about half of what they use, but it's pretty fun.
It's a labor of love.
It is. It is totally a labor of love.
Yes.
So how many do you have people come through the alien invasion throughout Halloween?
Yeah. So what we do is we have it open for Halloween, and we usually get about 500 trick-or-treaters through here. I mean, we get a lot of people, and what happens is the neighborhood kids will come through, and then around like 9:30 or so, cars start pulling up, and kids from other neighborhoods will come through because they have to see the alien house. So that's on Halloween, and we usually shut down around 10 for those last-minute high school kids. Then we usually have a party. This year it's going to be the Saturday after Halloween, and that's just a general all-call for whoever wants to show up. Yeah. And that's kind of taken on a life of its own too. We have this year. I cut back this year and ordered 2,000 glow sticks instead of 3,000 glow sticks.
Way to show some restraint.
Kids take handfuls, and then the whole backyard gets turned into this glow tree, and it's just kind of gets a little out of control.
As fun as it is for us, it's for the kids.
It really is. I mean, we have kids who trick or treat who come through who, I'll talk them through it. The little ones, and I had one little princess come through, and she marched through, ran out the end, because you come through the front of the garage, and then you go out our side door, and that's where you get the candy. And she just, I did it this year! I did it! And it's so cute to see him sort of grow up and get the guts to go through. One thing it's not gory or scary, so it's surprising. It's creepy. So little kids go through, and they love it. Because it's not, well, I don't know. It could be nightmare-inducing.
Nightmare. Well, I don't think it is because it's more screens and props. Like, you can tell it's fake once you really look.
Yeah.
It just, once you first see it, it kind of jumps out at you. And then when you come through the second time, it's like, oh, I remember that. I see how that works now.
You've really honed down the exact flavor of creepiness that you're going for with this podcast.
Yeah.
Maybe in 10 years, we think we got it.
I would think add more. If we ever.
That's awesome. That's so great.
So, some of the things we have, like the things that move, there's shaky alien, then there's the pop-up alien. That's like the best. We have a little camera so we can watch the circuit
and watch them get scared.
And you hit the remote and just see total chaos. And then the twins, who this gets hooked up to, they sort of smoke and make noise. And
yeah, that's the one with the computer control.
With computer control.
Yeah, so everything's computer controlled or on remote, and we look at it through closed circuit and scare the crap out of people. It's fun.
So we all got tired of standing in here and sucking up fog juice and just dry eyes and coughing, so we all sit outside and do it with little monitors.
CCTV.
John dresses up as
policeman.
He's an Area 51 security guard.
He does it to scare kids so that they don't vandalize our stuff, but also because it's fun.
Why does anyone vandalize our stuff?
People punch the aliens.
Well,
Alex, but
That comes with scaring people, is you have to deal with their reactions to it. Their reaction like,
yeah.
oh my gosh. So, what are your guys' favorite props that you have?
Pop-up alien.
Pop-up alien.
Probably. It gets the most.
I think my favorite's the incubator. When it's up and running, it's
pretty cool.
It's pretty cool. It looks real. And then I think my all-time though, if like everything went away, the one thing I'd want to keep is the endless alien baby box.
Yes. Oh yeah.
It's like the simplest, most elegant one, and it freaks people out. How do they do
I'm not
that?
sure I caught the name of that.
Yeah, say that again.
The infinite alien baby box. You'll see it.
Infinite alien baby
Oh,
box.
of course.
You
Never
look
mind.
at it, it looks
Something
like
completely
baby aliens just going all
Because they have
over that.
mirrors all around the
mirrors.
box, and
I completely forgot that I have the pictures I can share. Should I have done that?
That might help.
That would help.
that would help.
Give them a better understanding of what the heck we're talking about.
No, I get the effect.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yep. All right.
All right.
Yeah, that's so awesome. And I want to remind any campers tuning in that we're talking with Alien Invasion, some really cool haunted house, alien, Area 51.5 props that we have. So if you have any questions, go ahead and post them on our Google Plus community page, and we'll feed them right on through. So the screens behind you seem to keep moving. Is that just a video that you have on loop, or did you what behind what you have there?
So that's a flash animation. It's being run on computer. We illustrated it, and it just runs on a loop over and over. Some of them are just run all by themselves, just to be a cool effect, and then some of them are hooked up to microcontrollers, which then trigger certain parts of the props over and over again.
I don't know if you guys can tell, but there's alien skeletons.
Yeah, you can kind of
Yeah.
see that from here. Yeah.
And then
It's supposed to look like life support readouts and medical displays and that type of thing.
and this one has a
It's very techy, definitely.
Yeah, it's got a
audio
good
component. So when it goes red, system failure. This great voice comes on.
Oh,
Warning,
yeah.
system failure, and lights flash and.
Yes.
Fog comes out.
Oh, terrific.
That's awesome. We have a question from a camper online, and his name is Chris, and it says, how many trick-or-treaters do you usually get coming through on Halloween?
About between 400 and 500.
Wow.
And I gauge that by the amount of candy I buy. So I usually get about. What did I order this year? I ordered it online because it's so much easier. I think I ordered about 1,000 pieces, individual
Oh my
pieces.
gosh.
I'll give 2 out every once in a while, but yeah, we get about 400 or 500 people through here.
That's crazy.
It's so much fun.
Yep.
People come down from San Francisco. A couple people have come down,
We're
and
infamous now.
yeah.
That's insane and insanely awesome.
Of course, it helps I work in an elementary school.
Oh, there you go. You have access to all the kids. There you go. That's awesome. So what's that on the desk there? There's like a jar of something?
Oh yeah. He's usually in our bathroom, but
Yeah, that makes sense.
Nice little.
Oh, that is creepy.
It's an alien baby.
That is awesome and disgusting. And we have another question coming in that's how long did it take to make that alien on the table there?
Oh, that's a great question. We didn't make that one. We bought it.
Ah.
So it happened really fast.
There you go.
Well done.
And so, like you said before, it kind of vibrates on the table, and there's things in it that kind of puff up and.
Yeah, so here, let's turn it over.
flip them over.
Oh, cool.
Got a motor in his back, and it's just got an off-center cam that just like the vibration of a cell phone.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Only
when
a
you
lot
set
louder,
that
more
up, everyone's
violent.
going, "Oh, I got a text."
He has his own prop, so it's a table with this camera hanging over, and then that's a live feed into a video display, and there's a ventilator that he's hooked up to.
Oh my gosh.
It works, works well enough. And the beauty is people just come in and they're looking at it and they're looking at the camera, and then you hit the remote and they scream.
And you have had some success. There you go.
The best was the sleepover of about 12 11-year-old girls that ran through and just...
Oh my god.
Oh, that was awesome.
That was
awesome.
Factor.
When you say ran
You
through,
could hear them scream from outside of the garage. It was so loud.
Oh, and we're getting your pictures. These look fantastic. Oh my gosh, that's so cool.
So there's the alien baby box.
Yeah, I can see
And
that.
the alien baby box.
It's got screens and buttons and flashy things.
And what's great is kids can hit all the buttons. They don't do anything.
So it doesn't really matter.
Screens
There
and
he
buttons,
is.
flashy things are my
That's
favorite.
the shaky one.
This guy.
That's this guy on the table.
That's the front.
That's the pod. So this is all inside of the pod that we get delivered.
Wow.
Pop-up guy.
There's the pop-up alien.
That's the twins. That's the screen that was behind us. That's what it looks like when it's all up and glowing.
I would be
Those are the-
terrified of this as a kid.
They're the twins.
I'm a little creeped out now.
Those are the incubators.
What is this?
Oh,
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Dude in there.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
We buy giant jugs of water and put highlighter ink in them so it glows and stuff, and it's really cool and it looks like alien blood.
That's a great tip.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah, it's totally easy. You just pop the end off a highlighter and just typically it's like a plastic sleeve with fiber and the juice in it, and you just put it in water.
Anymore.
And it fluoresces.
Yep.
That's
That's
terrific.
the outside of the garage.
Or was.
Or
Until the post
was.
surface took those back.
That's one of the aliens that we made.
Ooh.
That's our Jeep.
Wow.
That's the bar.
That's the bar. We put all these drinks and stuff in the back of the Jeep, and it.
It's working this year, right?
It's the grown-up bar.
I like the
So
priorities
did
you got.
you guys talk about? So some of the people online said that they would be totally scared to go in, because it's a little creepy.
Oh yeah, we talked about the
We talked about.
kids coming through.
Yeah. And
Sorry, that's Mike. My husband just came in.
Hi.
back from work. Awesome! Look at the makeup. Yeah, this is part of the crew.
Just missing Alex now.
Yeah.
Nick.
Alex and Nick.
Alex and Nick.
That's nearly everybody.
Yeah, just two more. A tall woman who got punched in the face wearing this. That we were talking about. So this is what they look like. Armand and the other aliens. Here we go. That's the mask we use.
It's a lovely mask.
That's great.
It is. I like the green. I think it brings out his cheekbones.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
So she was wearing this and standing in the corner and sort of monitoring things, and someone just freaked out and punched her in the face.
It's a little kid who had like a Disney
horrible.
character reaction and kicked it. Yeah.
Oh gosh.
So is that the most violent thing that's happened in your haunted house?
Yes.
so far?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
the worst
good.
of it.
That's
One
the
kid
worst.
tried to take off the arm of the-
I can
Oh,
imagine
yeah,
that
we
was
had
quite a
a
shock.
little bit of vandalism.
Yeah, that's why we have the
Joan
camera
FBI.
and the monitors so that we can see if people start touching the aliens, and we come in and we say, please don't touch them.
We
but,
abduct them after that.
yeah, but usually it
them
doesn't
back.
happen.
He's got his cop gear on. So.
Yeah, you just get that menacing security guard uniform or something, just stand there and glare.
Yeah,
And
that's
then they
scary
usually
that
stop what
any
they're
kind of
doing.
filter duel.
Yeah.
And then occasionally, or one year, the Mikes, my husband Mike and John's brother Mike, dressed in just black suits, white shirt, black tie, and sunglasses, and just walked around. That scared people. Those guys, I don't know, but you shouldn't mess with anything. So that worked.
That's a good way of doing it.
That's awesome.
And it
So,
all comes together in sometimes
In like
hours.
a weekend it gets put together.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of some of the
Wow,
other.
that's crazy.
Oh, the guacamole alien, that's popular too. At the party,
This alien.
when like this, we hollow it out its stomach, and I line it with foil and fill it with guacamole. That's a highlight for some people.
That's a good one.
I think it's a highlight for you.
For me.
Everyone else then decides whether they really wanted to have that guacamole.
Do I want the salsa, which is just in this nice bowl,
Or-
The green gooey guts.
which is guacamole of dubious origin?
It always goes pretty fast.
It does.
Well, that's so great, and thank you so much for sharing all of this with us. It's been, I mean, there's been some great tips in there that, you know, campers definitely try that highlighter trick. That was a fantastic one. We have to try that around the office too.
Oh, it's super easy. The other one, you guys might know this one, is tonic water fluoresces too. That's another good one.
I did not know that.
Great.
Yeah, I've been trying to find edible fluorescent things.
Gin, tonic water, all those
Tonic
do
water
really well under fluorescence.
That's about it.
Huh.
So you can have your gin and tonic in your black light.
Yes, exactly.
For those that are above the legal drinking age.
Appropriate age, absolutely.
So thank you so much for
European.
sharing, Flora. And we have another guest that's going to be joining us in just a couple of seconds. But I wanted to remind everyone that's just tuning in that you can post your questions on the Google Plus community page, and we will go ahead and feed them on through. So we're going to do a little bit of a mix-up around here. You two, get out of here.
Graham.
Oh, really?
You're done. Yes, Sam.
You'll be hearing from my people.
So I'm going to bring on Carly. Everyone remembers Carly from the first episode and the second episode. And so Carly is back to share some fantastic other tips.
Hey, campers. Hey, guys. It looks great over there.
Oh, thank
Thanks.
you.
Thank
So
you.
I've been working on some Halloween props myself, and my medium that I've been using is paper mache. So hold on just a second.
I've seen these already, and they're awesome. I'm really excited.
Okay, so this is a basic project that you can work on, and I've done this with kids as young as kindergarten. So as young as 6 and as old as, hey, I love to do it. So okay, so your basic materials for paper mache are newspaper, glue, these nifty paper towel holders, and some Scotch tape that you can help shape whatever figure you're trying to make. So I had started the process of making a bone. So we have this guy where I made 2 little balls like this guy, and you put it in the end, and then you fasten it down with some tape, and then after you get both ends, you then make your paper mache, which is really, really easy to do, and the paper mache is made of glue and water, but make sure it's more glue than water, or else you're going to have a watery mess all over your hands, and you don't want that when you're making something.
Just like regular, you know, craft glue, right?
Yeah, it's the Elmer's glue I use more typically. And then depending on how many layers you put on, make sure everything is dry before you do your paint. So this is the end result of the bone.
Cool.
Yeah, so bones aren't white. So I made this one rather dirty and bloody with all the detail on there. But once you do your paper mache and you use, I like using newspaper. You can also use magazines. I like using newspaper because once it dries, the paint that I use, which is typically acrylic paint, adheres really well to the bone, and it gives it a nice texture and color. So I didn't really have to put too many layers on there to make this look like it is. So campers, if you have any questions about paper mache and how to put this project together, I'm happy to share some tips. It's just kind of a neat little project. I used, one year I actually made extra long bones, and I used a paper wrapping roll that's, you know, they're rather large in size.
Yeah.
And I created it just like this one, and we used it for some miniature golf games during a Halloween party. Yeah, and it was quite the hit. You can actually, I didn't have time to do this. We bought them at the store, but these little eyeballs you can get as party favors. We use those as our little golf balls. So it was quite a success. And then I have a more detailed paper mache project that took me like a week or so to make. And I was taking my time.
Oh.
Yeah, so I have a battle axe.
Awesome.
That came out so nice.
Yeah, I think it turned out rather nicely too. And it, can you guess what this is made of?
Well, I could probably guess because I saw it while you were doing it.
So it's
feel
just,
it too.
yeah, it's just a couple of pieces,
That's
really.
super light.
I think cost-wise, I think it's cheaper than actually getting one at the store. So I've got paper and a PVC pipe that holds the bottom together. And then I used the same recipe that I did for the paper mache. I used tape and newspaper to form up here. So this is newspaper. And then I have newspaper stuffed inside here. And then I just pre-drew the shape out and put it all together. And then the design I got from, I looked up online, a Celtic tattoo design, and that's
Nice.
what it gave me. So
That's really cool. I wouldn't have thought to use a design like that, but it really looks awesome.
yeah, and for paper mache projects too, like this, I haven't done this yet, but you can make your paper mache paint last longer by putting a sealer on top of it, which I haven't done yet because you can see it's kind of dull in color, but it will give it an extra shine and,
And that would look really great on something that you want to have a shine. Maybe not on the bones because you want those to be more matte, but
right,
on
yeah.
this where you would want it to look like metal.
Yeah, so for different projects and different purposes, those are some good tools. And then another easy and fun trick is that if you're using acrylic paint on paper mache, you can use the Scotch painter's tape. And if you want to make a really, really fine edge without, feeling like you're going to mess it up, you can actually lay the painter's tape right on top of the paint because it won't take off the paint. And then that way you can get that fine edge without taking all your hard work of layer away from it. So yeah, those are my fun little paper mache projects. So if you guys have any questions or anything about these, I'm happy to answer, but that's what I had up my sleeve for this week.
Awesome. And we'll be on Google Plus the whole time, so if you're watching this later, you can go ahead and post things up there too, because I'm trolling the Google Plus community all the time, checking out all your guys' projects. They're fantastic. I just love seeing what you guys have been up to, and it's really fun to go through all the stuff that you guys have been posting. Lots of baking, which I've been very hating because I want to eat all of it, but it's very cute stuff, so really happy to be able to see all that. And so what do you plan on doing for this Halloween? Do you have anything special planned?
I was actually thinking about making one more paper mache project, and that would be a Reaper axe. So
Nice.
I was thinking about being the death. Lord Death.
Being the death.
Being the death.
That would be awesome. So, and next week we're going to be having a Halloween party, our own little Halloween parade. So we'll be, again, in some crazy costumes, you and I, doing something ridiculous. If you couldn't tell, I'm kind of lizard, reptilian, something, I don't know. I made it up. I think it's really fun and weird. And so, and then who are you wearing?
Well, you might call me a number of things. A nerd or Napoleon Dynamite might be another good one, but
it's so weird seeing you like that. I love it. So, and then campers, we also wanted to share some pictures with you that that were sent to us from this really awesome hangout, or this little meetup, and it was called Hack-A-Lantern. So I'll see if we can get that screen share going here. So let's see. Bring this up. So here is a really great picture from that, and they came up with some really, really fun ideas. They were like cutting into pumpkins and adding all this cool stuff to it, and they sent us this hilarious picture of them from the meetup, and it looked like a lot of fun. I definitely would really have loved to be able to go to that one. And so definitely keep posting stuff on Google Plus, and really look forward to seeing you guys next week.
Yeah. Well, thanks guys for hanging out with us.
Absolutely. Thank you for having us.
Yeah. Thanks for sharing what you do. We absolutely loved it.
Happy Halloween.
Yes. Happy Halloween.